Hey there! Today I'm going to be talking to my two different audiences, which is children and parents, about playing sports. So this is my first one to children. Sports is a very, very fun thing to do. No matter what sports you have, you can do volleyball, basketball, softball, track, tennis. There's so many sports that you can fill your time doing. To be in a sport, you have to be dedicated. You can't wake up one day and be like, I think I'm going to start this sport, but I'm not going to care about it. You have to give your time and effort to be in a sport. And it takes work. It does. You can't just think I'm going to be amazing at it. It takes a lot of your time. So when you're planning those parties or those sleepovers or whatever you're planning as a kid, you can't do it all the time because sometimes you gotta go to practice. You gotta put in that extra time to get work done. Another thing, when you're doing a sport, you have to kind of have a passion for it. Like, if you don't love the sport, then you're obviously not going to give it your all, and you're not going to play as hard as you can, I guess. You want to make sure that you select a sport that you really enjoy. Like, I really enjoy doing a lot of sports. Volleyball and basketball are probably my favorite. And I guess when you pick it, you gotta understand the game too. You can't just go out there and not know what you're doing at all. So when you're choosing or when you're gonna be in a sport, make sure you choose the right one that you really, really like and that you know you're gonna give it your all. Parents, when your kid does choose a sport, it takes a lot of time out of your schedule. My parents are very stressed usually because my brother and I do, I think, 7 sports altogether, and it takes a lot of time, so those family dinners don't happen all that often. As a parent, I'm not a parent, but as a parent, you kind of got to be supportive of your kid, because I know it's really hard on kids when parents aren't that supportive and they're like, I don't know if you're really going to play. Then they kind of get down on themselves and they're not really wanting to play anymore. So, I guess for parents, you gotta be there for your kid. Another thing is, it takes, well, not only time, but it kind of gives your kids some stress. So it gives you stress also. Your kid's always gonna have homework that they have to work on, and then they have the sport, so then they're not going to bed till really late. So you kind of gotta be flexible, I guess. The kids gotta be flexible too, so just make sure you're not overbearing on your kid, because sports equals stress. And just don't leave them, like, not really leave them, but don't let them figure it out on themselves. Kind of be there for them, because when my parents are there for me, I do play a lot of sports, and it helps a lot when my parents are like, I got you on here. If you really want to do it, then that's fine, but if you don't, I understand. I'll be there for you whether you choose to or not. And that's just kind of the main parts of sports. That's not even getting into detail about what the sport is. And it's going to take money. Sports have different things, like softball. You need gloves and bats and cleats and softballs, and basketball, you need basketball shoes, basketballs, and then volleyball shoes, knee pads, and then injuries. Injuries cost a lot. So when your kid's choosing a sport, just make sure that they want to do it and that you're going to be supportive no matter what.